Hi, I am Lakshmi. I am finally a master's student in English Theatre, Film and Media. And this is Zoe.
Come with us on a 4-day trip to New Orleans, Louisiana to attend an academic conference. Zoe and I are traveling with our supervisor Dr. Erin Keating and her partner Sean. This is our first time at the Popular Culture Association's International Annual Conference and all of us are really excited. This might be the home conference for Zoe and I, as both of our research interests intersects with our love for romance, fantasy, comics, science fiction and all that jazz. So I left from Winnipeg at the ungodly hour of 2 a.m. to catch my early morning flight. But we move because there is nothing better than the prospect of being out of Winnipeg in April, where in the name of spring you would get single-digit chilly days and 3 hours of sunlight. And going to the land of jazz, warm wind, oak trees with an abundance of crawfish honestly sounded really nice. My transit was from Atlanta and I landed in New Orleans in the afternoon. Zoe had reached 2 days before me, so I headed straight to the hostel where we'll be staying for the next 4 days. Staying in a hostel close to your conference hotel is always a financially smart choice for students who are traveling on a tight budget, and if you were a kid like me who pestered your parents to buy you a bunk bed as a kid, you might get to sleep on one as a fully grown adult. And honestly, isn't life supposed to be lived for small happinesses like that? So this is the room that Zoe and I stayed in. It's very spacious, the washrooms are common and regularly cleaned, there is a complimentary breakfast, like hello, and yeah, it's a whole lot of fun. After a quick room tour, we stepped out to walk around and see a bit of downtown New Orleans. This is Zoe's second time in NOLA and my first. She was here for Mardi Gras a few years ago, so she was my local guide. We walked around in French quarters, hopped in cafes, spent a nice warm evening together and came back to the hostel early because we've got an early day tomorrow. The next day, right after breakfast, we headed to the conference hotel. We knew this would be a big conference, but boy was it big. There were so many amazing panels and we wanted to be in at least 3 of them at the same time. So we kept bouncing from one venue to another to listen and be part of all the amazing presentations and discussions that were happening. Dr. Keating presented on the first day and her paper was titled Queer Reproduction in Steven Erikson's Malazan Book of the Fallen, and it was followed by a really interesting discussion. We hopped around the venue the next day because none of us were presenting and we had all the time in the world to listen to other scholars introducing fascinating research, in-depth close reading, and all of this was certainly followed by very lively discussions. On the third day, I presented my paper on Bridgerton, which I very dearly called Representation and Imperialism, Reading Netflix's Bridgerton as a Speculative Romance. I had such a fun time talking about Bridgerton with 3 others who were all sharing their research in the field of adaptations and retellings. I could have listened to them speak for hours. And then, on the final day, Zoe presented her paper, which was titled On Building Anger in R.F. Kuang's The Poppy War. I was beaming in the audience listening to my friend speak with so much wisdom, humility, and the awareness of her social position as a researcher talking about R.F. Kuang. Actually another mutual interest that brings all 3 of us together, I must add. We ended that day by going back to the hostel. Both of our social batteries had run out at this point, so we decided to watch the last few episodes of Interview with Vampire, something we have been doing since day 1. It should be custom to watch that show for anyone who is visiting NOLA. There is so much real-life paratexts that you would get to see and touch and smell as you walk around the city. Okay, so I'm just going to smush together all the sightseeing we did, because let's just ignore the fact that, like a typical research student, my window for being creative is 2 hours in a week and I may have some other potential psychological issues that we do not want to unearth. So as a result, although I was supposed to turn this vlog in 2 months ago, I did not follow through, so here we are. Anyway, we had an absolute blast of a time. We still talk about the vegan meal we had with Erin and Sean and the Thai place we went to the day before we boarded the flight back home. I had gumbo, a po' boy, some beignets and many other New Orleans delicacies. It was amazing. And yeah, this is us. Happy conferencing, my fellow scholars. I hope you get to squeeze in some vacation time while you visit a new town and share your exciting research with others. Bye.
Been working. Are they? Are they? Okay, this is another tree that Lakshmi wanted to take a video of.
Trees that made me emotional.